and welcome back to my channel. So it has been a minute, but I am back. So if you're new here, you never watched a video before, you don't know what my channel is about, I've left a new little description for you guys to let you know what content I share on my channel. But in today's video, I'm back with a little update on how our social work journey is going. But to give you guys a little update as well, just for those of you that do reach out to me on social media, I'm currently on a social media break, but my email is somewhere listed in the info section on my channel, so you can contact me there. You can also leave your comments down below, and you can also contact Daniella on her socials that I'll also leave in the description bar below.
Do you use your LinkedIn?
I do not use LinkedIn.
Oh, okay. That's so professional.
Do you know,
I use my LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, people from all over the world be adding me. Hi, Sefra. Oh,
Yeah,
we just
you can
wonder
get
how
jobs
it's going.
on LinkedIn.
Yeah, but it's just...
Use your LinkedIn, guys.
I get why it's there, but I also don't get why it's
Research
there.
projects. You never know. Connections. Yeah.
You connect with people, like, really?
Yeah. Other
than saying, yeah, I accept your friend request, do you actually...
I actually connect. I've done a talk with an organisation.
What organisation was that?
Dyslexia.
Really?
Yeah, I have dyslexia, guys, yeah.
Oh, maybe I need to...
Do you need to use your LinkedIn?
Maybe I need to use my LinkedIn. I use that LinkedIn chat.
Yeah.
I got so
now
many...
you're a qualified social worker. Fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
Anyway, yeah, so getting into this video. So... I said to you guys in September when I started my ASYE that I would come back to you with a 3-month update. But I'm coming to you with a 4-month update because this is the life of a social worker and things don't always go to plan. And December was just crazy. Okay, it was just too much, too much. But I've come in today's video with Daniella just to give you an update on where we're at, especially since our last video, which was a year ago. Wow, time really goes. A year. So where was we last year?
You know, lots going on. I'm giving my best to this child, or giving my best to these families, because they do realize you're not being genuine, you're just coming in to just do a tick box exercise where you're just coming in to do a visit because you have to, but not because you care. So we actually look so different as well.
We do. I'm trying to see. Let me look and kind of see what's different. Was I fatter then?
Lockdown weight
was real.
So what was you doing in December last year?
In December, I was working for a charity for young adolescents in mental health. Yeah, I was actually at my transitional, what I call my transitional job, last year, December.
Was you enjoying it?
They may see this video. No, I'm joking. Okay. It's hard because I think when you're doing something for the financial aspect, like everyone needs to live, like being on that universal credit was not for me. And I guess I was in it because I needed a job. I did have some interest in it, but I just think maybe their method, the way they ran the charity didn't allow me to enjoy it as much as I could have. Okay. So for example, I didn't really feel like I was really understanding mental health. I didn't really feel like I was really getting that experience that maybe I would have got if I was on a ward working with learning about psychosis and all different type of symptoms. It was more like mentoring work, how I felt it, and like a youth club feel. So like we would have the part of the job or the role where we would have to meet with young people, talk to them about life, give them advice and support. And then we also had another section, you know, doing activities. And I was just like, I didn't really want to be a youth worker. And I just think because I was already a social worker then, and I know that social work is what I wanted to do, even if I wanted to, I couldn't fully enjoy it because I knew that it wasn't anything that was going to be long term. But a year later, I was just going to say we're in December. We're not even... The time is going so fast, but a year, I would say... Let me just say a year later for saying it. But now I'm in my ASYE. I'm
social worker.
I don't even call myself a newly qualified social worker because when the work comes, there's no newly qualified...
There's no newly in there.
There's no newly qualified...
As a social worker.
Nothing. Who is the social worker for this? It's Sefra. Yeah, it's her. Give it to her. Ask her about this. So... but being 4 months into my ASYE, I feel like I'm in a good place now when I started, I felt like I was in a good place, but leading to November, December, I wouldn't say I was in the best place, because it was like I was picking up work, I was busy, I was overwhelmed, I was tired. But I wouldn't really say I'm in a bad place now. I think I'm in a good place. I feel more confident with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I feel more assured. I think when I started, I'm not sure if I said it to you guys, but I felt an element of like nervousness and a bit of like, oh, am I gonna be able to do it? But now I'm just like, I know what I'm doing. I'm the social worker. Yeah, I think December was the hardest month because there was just a lot of problems in terms of...
December's
always that month for social workers where I think that's the best time to go on leave. Just go on for the whole month.
Just before Christmas, just ghost.
No, but so much people do it, they ghost. And then when you're left with issues, there's no one to talk to. So you just got to talk to God. That's all you can do. But yeah, I think my ASYE has been going well. We're going to speak a bit more about it as we get into the video. But where have you been in the past year? Where are you now?
So last year when we done the video, I was working as a personal advisor in leaving care services. And now I'm still within the same team or service, but now I'm a social worker. So I applied for a social work role, got it, we thank God. And I'm also doing my ASYE, so we're actually doing our ASYEs. I'm 3 months in, would I say, and yeah, enjoying it. I definitely feel like it was just time. Like we were talking about this earlier in terms of when we done the video, and we were just saying, yeah, in a few months or maybe a year we'll come back and we'll let you know. And it's just so weird, a year we're basically in the same
place.
So really just thank God for that, and just us growing as social workers, because I guess this is what the ASYE is supposed to be about. Working with looked after children and care leavers in local authority. So that's me for now.
So I guess that leads smoothly then onto the first point, or the first question, just in terms of, I guess we can start with the second one. Is there a difference between doing your ASYE in a council or doing your ASYE in an IFA, so an independent fostering agency? Is there a difference?
I mean, how's your ASYE, like, how are you finding it?
I think the ASYE, like we'll have the conversation as we go on, just in terms of, was it relevant?
Yeah. Would you say that there's structure to
I would say that there's as much structure as it can be. I think doing your ASYE, it's something you're doing independently. Like there's going to be no one, like your teachers, your lecturers, like, oh, get this assignment done by this date.
This deadline.
You manage your year. So like, for example, I'm in January already. I've done an observation. I've got my next one booked for next month. I've already got some feedbacks done. Like realistically, the ASYE can be done in like 2-3 months if we think about it, but it's just stretched out because it's just about you having that development.
And reflecting on your practice as well. Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of that. But I think the ASYE is not difficult because you're managing it yourself. I think what's difficult is managing the workload. So for example, when I started, from September till now, I've probably only utilised 2 of my days, or 2 of my, I think it's 3 hours you get, isn't it? 3 hours a week.
I just think it's different. I'll talk about, I guess.
Oh, so I get 10, 11, 12. So technically I get 3.5 hours per week specifically for my ASYE, but I've only probably utilised that twice. So every other time I've been working, I haven't had any time to actually do it. And I told myself, and I told my manager that from 2-3 weeks ago, I said, this is my time, and I'm not being funny, even if I'm not doing specifically observations or whatever. This is time I can be using for my personal development. I can be doing online training. I could be sleeping.
Shadowing. I can say sleeping. Reflecting. Not even reflecting.
Why? Guys, don't listen to me. I could be meditating while I'm having
She said meditating.
Yeah, I can
in your bed.
I can be meditating while I'm sleeping. Oh, don't listen to me. Listen. Sleep is important.
As a social worker, it is part of self-care. I never.
It is a part of self-care. No, but I'm joking. But even if it's not for that, just having time, at least to organize or prepare for something ahead, so that I don't fall behind.
Yeah. I would say in relation to doing ASYE in a council, well, it depends what local authority you're doing it in. Some local authorities are very rigid and they have like a whole academy for newly qualified social workers. The local authority that I'm in is quite flexible. It depends on yourself, the manager, and then the person that's kind of like leading the ASYE. It's not like rigid. Like with some councils, they get in ASYEs at a specific point. So most of the time it's like September, and then it's like the whole academic year. With mine, I started it in October, and it was just based on the different times they recruit within the year. In terms of
so that's the difference with mine then, because mine can recruit all year round.
Yeah, like
when they need it.
Yeah, like they recruit all year round. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. With other councils, they would only take ASYEs in a certain time frame. But my local authority is not like that. Just depends on the team really and what their capacity is. So some teams, they already have like 5 ASYEs, so they can't take you on. Then also I get ASYE days. So I can take it whenever I want. I just discuss it with my manager. Normally supposed to be, I think it's 2 every month. And
you get ASYE days.
Days, yeah. Well, it's 0.5 and then you can add it up because there's no point taking half a day. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, but mine's weekly, so technically I get 2 days.
Yeah, like I think when I worked it out, my whole year I should get 24 because you get. For me, I get 0.5 each month, so then you can work. You can work out differently. You don't have to take it every week, because then if you're shadowing or something, you want to do a whole week of shadowing, you can just bank it up. During your ASYE, you also have different reports that you do. It's less reports than when you're a student, because now you're working. You're actually working as a social worker. So you have like mini reports. I have a 3-month reflective log that I have to do. And I think a 6-month one, and then I think a 9-month one, and the end one, but not too sure. Then I have direct observations. I've done one, and then my supervisor's report, and that's pretty much it. And I think service user feedback, but it's not as intense as when we were a student. Yeah. Like I don't have to do weekly reflection. It was actually my manager today that said, Daniella, do you actually reflect upon your practice because you've done a lot since you started? And I was like, oh yeah, like I actually haven't been reflecting compared to when we were a student. You had to do that weekly reflection because your practice educator would ask you. So I guess now is you have to be accountable to yourself, and you have to just be like, what am I going to do this week? What am I going to do this month in relation to my ASYE? No one's going to force you because you are a qualified worker. And within my borough, our ASYE is our probation period. So if you don't pass that, you don't pass probation. Whereas Sefrawills is a little bit different. So every local authority is different. But I think within local authorities, like we had a whole booklet. There's things that they won't budge on, like this is it, and this is what they've been doing for years. So yeah, that's kind of like the difference between an agency, I guess, a private.
So there was 2 differences. So my agency, you're a contracted member of staff. You're just newly qualified, but your probation is 6 months.
Yeah. So
if you don't pass your ASYE, you don't pass your ASYE. But I don't think they're going to be like, yeah, you're going to lose the job.
Okay.
And then in terms of the report, I don't think, as far as I know, you can use... This is why I think it also depends on the role that you're working in. Because for me, as a SSW, we have annual reviews that we do for carers every year. And I can take one of those reports or another report, and I could use that as evidence. So it's not something I'm having to do. And then I just do my 2 reflections. So I have the 1,000 word reflection. And then I think the next one is 2,000 words.
Yeah,
1,000 word, 500. But what's good with the ASYE is it doesn't, when it comes to even templates and stuff, it doesn't matter what template you use. It's
much more flexible.
It's not as rigid as being a student and having to have specific documentation. For example, if you was to get feedback from a carer or someone, they don't have to fill out a form. They can literally write an email and you can use that as evidence. So I think that's one of the pros.
Yeah.
Because I know some of these young people, and they're just going to be like, yeah, she's good. They'll probably just write that on a paper, but I could use that as evidence.
And that brings us on to, I guess, what is the difference between being a student and being an ASYE social worker? What would you say?
I think the main difference is... I
can think of one.
I think the main difference is flexibility. So as a student, you are expected to do it. As an ASYE, you should know how to do it. So it's almost like now they're expecting you're a professional. Manage your calendar. Manage when you're going to get things done. Do it independently. I shouldn't be there to overshadow you.
Yeah.
And I think as well, I don't know, I was going to say in terms of... the main one probably is I can say I'm an ASYE, not that they care because work's still coming to me, but I think we still have that autonomy to be like, my caseload is way too high, like I was promised a lower caseload, which is a good discussion to have because as for me I don't know if I'm over at the moment, and I think it's something that you need to be conscious of going into an ASYE. Be conscious of your rights. Be conscious of what you are supposed to have, because managers, some of them will purposely use it like, oh, she probably doesn't remember, or let me just try and take advantage of the situation. But if you constantly remind them, oh, I'm just noticing that the amount of children I have, I shouldn't be going over that as an ASYE student, can that be reduced? As you build confidence to have those kind of conversations. But I think that's the main thing. But ASYE, you're managing it yourself. And if you don't pass it, that's up to you. It's not anyone. You may, like, for me, I have my ASYE supervisor that like puts the report together, signs it off, does 2 of my observations. She does monthly trainings, and she may do check-ins. Like, I can access her at any point. I also, amazingly, with my agency, I have a 24/7 mentor. So anytime I need additional support or I need help with something, she's specifically in that role to help newly qualified social workers. So I think that's probably what has made the job for me amazing, having someone that is not a manager, and she wasn't SSW, but knows the job inside and out, knows the system. So she's helped me to almost be quick, and she's helped me to really develop much quicker than I think I would have had. Because if I didn't have her, I would have been struggling. I think at moments I would have struggled. But yeah.
Okay, for me, I would say that the main difference is I feel like people trust you more as a qualified social worker, because you pass your first placement, you pass your second placement. If you were bad, you wouldn't have passed it. So they trust you more, and they have confidence in you that you know what you're doing. Obviously, there's some people do ask, so do you know this, do you know that? But it's you can sense the difference, because when you're a student, people treat you like a student, and sometimes it's not always good. But then when you're qualified, It's just like, even if you don't know everything, you know stuff. So I would say the confidence that people have in you, managers, even other people, even like young people, foster carers, whoever you're working with, I would say they have more confidence in you. And also I think you have more confidence in yourself, because when you're a student, you're kind of just like, oh, I'm not too sure, like I'm a student, but then when you're qualified, you know, you worked hard to get that degree. Like, I know my ish, I don't know anything, but I passed my placements. I finished all these like different modules. I know what I'm doing. So you feel confident within yourself, and I think that shows when you're doing your job. Like if you're confident in yourself, it shows within your work. So I would say that's the main thing between being a student and a qualified worker. And obviously you're getting paid, the main thing.
Oh, of course, there's money that ain't moneying when the tax man takes most of your money.
When you're a student, even to tap your oyster, you're thinking, wow. But now at least you're getting paid, so you know.
I still have an oyster. Do you not have one?
No, as in, but like a student, we weren't getting no money, so it's like you're constantly looking at. Yeah, there's bursaries and all of that, but it still ain't compared to. At least now we can go out and eat without, But anyways, you're actually getting paid, so you're actually doing a job. A student, you wasn't doing a job, like, you're basically volunteering. Yeah. But then now you're actually getting paid, so you have the rights as an employee.
How can I forget about money?
So,
how can I forget?
The main reason.
But to just go back a bit on the point that you made about the newly qualified and them sometimes people respecting the more qualified social worker. Sometimes I think that's down to management, and sometimes I think it's down to whoever you work for. Like when I first started, I was happy for my manager or whoever to say like, yeah, she's newly qualified, she may not know everything, but then someone who's been in the post for 20 years may not know anything. And I think
because things change all the time.
Yeah, things change all the time, and I think sometimes I generally just think like sometimes people don't need to know that information. Yeah. And I think
it's like when you learn how to drive, when people don't put the P on because
I didn't do that because people would have cut me up on the street.
People take
advantage. I just think sometimes people can take advantage of that, or if you're not that kind of personality where you're confident to challenge things or speak up about things, people can walk over you and get you to do more than you're supposed to do. Like but yeah, I think over the course of my ASY, I've definitely, compared to the beginning, I've definitely gained confidence because I'm more... And I think as well, my carers have helped me. When they've given me feedback on stuff, it's boosted my confidence. So my first observation that I had last week, I had my first observation, and randomly the carers just decided to give feedback, and they were just like, yeah, we sometimes forget that you've only been with the company since September because the way you handle situations, like, you know, you've been really supportive. And that's
great feedback.
Yeah, that's like a boost to me because I was just like, oh yeah, well maybe I did handle it well then, or yeah. So I think building those relationships as well, like especially with me working with because I work with loads, I think I work with majority of local authorities, but I can work with any local authority pretty much, and having that positive working relationship as well can also boost your confidence when you get along with another professional, because we've spoken about it before, but like just in terms of professionals having conflict and just don't know why. But
so what would you say are the pros of doing your ASYE, and then we'll go on to cons? If you could mention 2 pros.
I think the pro of doing your ASYE is you just have another year of development. I think just overall you have another, because I think for us personally, when we came out of the masters, it was almost like we needed I couldn't imagine going back to the same council doing the same thing. I think I probably would have you'd probably be walking past me on the street because I'd be like, hello, you got £1, because I'll be gone. I would have lost it. It was just too intense. But I think it gives you that space to breathe. Yeah. And it gives you another year to find yourself, because sometimes people come out and they still don't know really what they want to do or what they're interested in. But at least
some people don't even know if they want to be social
workers anymore. But at least it gives you a 2-year gap to really have a space that if you want to do the ASYE, you always can you can slowly be integrated back. No, I wouldn't even say slowly, because after a while you're the social worker.
Yeah, the social worker, that's it. Yeah.
The other benefit is, I guess, in your comment, you're getting paid now. Like you're actually a working professional. But being a professional can be hard. But I think I've noticed working with an agency and working with different local authorities, there is still that professional, not professional.
Coming from who?
I think both sides.
Yeah.
I think with agencies, there's more of that feistiness from the placements team, but with the local authority, they're really harsh on foster carers. I've noticed it, like in my position, I'm just like, why are they so hard on foster carers? Like I'm currently going through one that's received a complaint, and I'm just like, yeah, she was in the wrong, but I'm just like, I
think because local authorities have a lot more procedures with different things, maybe that's why. Yeah. But a con? What would you say a con is?
That it takes a year. That would be my only con, that it takes a year. Why are you laughing?
Because it says it in the name. ASYE.
It should be the ASYE months.
Oh God.
I think the ASYE is too long. I don't think it should be a year.
No, I think a year gives good, because in between a year, like a lot of things can happen, which you need to use that time to reflect, to think on your practice.
But in saying that, a lot of things can happen, and then a lot of people do the ASYEs in whatever position, whatever job, whatever company, and then they move on.
Yeah. So and because we know someone that because the companies, if you think about it, they don't want social workers to be jumping out and jumping in. So I think the year also helps them, because at least they know for a year they have someone that is qualified that will work with, like for yourself, foster carers for a solid year. Because where are we going? If we go,
in the local authority, the amount of social workers I've worked in 4 months. That's 4 months.
But if you're doing your ASYE, you're there for a year, guaranteed. Even some local authorities I've heard.
But then, do you know why I say it shouldn't be a year?
Why?
Because I want you to up my pay after 6 months.
Everyone money.
It's not about money, yeah. But it's like, do you know what we went through on that? Daniel, you know what we went through on that.
I know.
Like, eating noodles, like not even noodles, bread.
Yeah.
Bread.
Yeah.
I know the struggle. I know where I came from. So it's like...
Remember when we went on holiday? The struggle. Do you remember? We went to Spain as student social workers. That's another discussion for another day.
It's not about the money. I think everyone is at different places. It's okay. Like me, I'm 27. I'm at a place I want to buy a house. I want to find stability in a job. What did you just say?
Yeah, money.
It's not about money. But why shouldn't it be about money when we had to pay how much for the
No, it is about money. But I think a year is a great time to learn more about yourself.
Okay, guys, if you're with me, just leave in the comment section. I was with Sephra at point, and then if you're with Daniella, just leave in the comment.
Now onto my pros and cons. So a pro, I would say, it's good. It's a good year to develop yourself.
It should be 6 months. Do you know why? The paperwork can be done in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but you need to learn about yourself as a professional. I sound like a practice educator.
Yeah, you do. Be one.
Maybe I will in a few years. In a year's time, we'll come back. But yeah, I think it's a good year to learn about yourself, learn about what kind of practitioner you are. Because as we mentioned before, student, you're a bit... I don't know. But then now you're like given a lot of responsibility, and how you are even without like people like a practice educator kind of holding your hand. In terms of cons, I would say I think it's just a bit long. I think it adds everything that we have to do because our job obviously is very heavy admin based and stuff like that. So imagine having to do extra things like reflective logs or reports and stuff like that. You just kind of forget, or obviously your cases when they're popping off, you're not going to be thinking, oh, I need to see my ASYE stuff. So that's the only thing. It can feel as if like, oh, I'm kind of like a student again. Obviously it's not the same, but when you start writing down all of that stuff. So that's the only con I can think of. And maybe another con is that people can still treat you as if you're a student. And yeah, I mean, I haven't really had that experience, but I mean, we're not doing social work in the same local authority that we done it as students. So I think that's good because then different faces, whatever. But yeah, that's it, I would say, in terms of pros and cons. And I guess I
don't know. I don't really feel like doing my ASYE. I felt like a student this time.
You feel like a student?
No, I don't really feel like
don't. Yeah, that's
like,
what I'm saying.
I feel like when I have these meetings...
If you would have stayed in the same local authority as we did, especially in the same team, I think you definitely would have felt... Or it would have been hard for them to see you differently.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
But that leads us on to, should you do your ASYE? Do you think people should?
I
mean, she doesn't even think it's an ASYE. It should be ASYE months or AS...
Or I think it should be like the ASYE reviews or something. Like you have a review every few... Like if they did like a year, but you had a specific review at each quarter.
But you do. Well, I do. 3-month review, 6 months, 9 months if you're really doing bad. Yeah.
No, I only have like... I don't even have it with my...
That's the difference.
Yeah, because my probation, I have the 3 months, the 6 months. But in terms of the ASYE, I don't. It's just throughout the year she will check in. That's why I just feel like I'm just managing it by myself, and it's almost like I feel like I'm doing it just because it's a tick box thing to do.
Okay.
But I feel like for me, that's why I feel like everyone's in different places. I'm the type of person I can pick things up very quickly, so I just think that's why I'm just like a year. Why does it need to be a year?
Okay, fair enough.
So. But we're gonna agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah,
would I recommend it?
Yeah, would you recommend it? Yeah,
I would recommend it because I remember the place I was in when I wanted to do it, and I didn't feel as though I was very confident, and I felt that the masters was a lot, and I wanted a year to just breathe and not have so much pressure put on me, and I didn't want a extra high caseload, and I didn't want everyone to be... I just didn't want to feel how I felt on my 100-day placement, and also I just think I would recommend it though, and I think now it's becoming compulsory anyway. Yeah,
a lot of local authorities, even agencies, are asking for it because as I mentioned before, it's a year of extra practice and development. So you're going to be, imagine I was talking about confidence, you're going to be even more confident in a year. So I think they can be like, okay, this person knows their ish. So I would definitely recommend it. I mean, the fact that it's a year of more training, more support, obviously depends on your team, but it's basically an extended year of kind of being a student but being paid. I understand why they brought it in, because obviously there was different things that were happening with, I guess, newly qualified social workers, especially with maybe CP cases, and they thought, okay, clearly the placement is not enough for them to learn. So I would say it's a great opportunity to take if you can, and then once you complete that, your pay rises, and you can literally go anywhere, anywhere in terms of work wise. You can dip and dive into different areas, and I think you feel more confident after the year.
But then I feel like when you go into a different area of social work, it's almost like you're starting at a new beginning again. And I think social work is that thing, because there's so much you can do in the field, and because you can move around so much, be in different teams, learn different things. Like, you can technically, for example, I could stay in SSW and work in 10 different places, and everywhere's going to be different.
Different.
Everywhere's going to have their own procedures. Everywhere's going to have their own way of doing things, their own policies, their own paperwork. Something I'm realizing, that paperwork is different everywhere. So yeah, I feel like it's a con, but then as much as I say, why is it a year does go quickly.
I mean, you're already 4 months. I'm already 3 months. I don't feel like it's been 3 months.
I don't feel like it's been. On the 3rd of Feb, I'm 5 months.
See?
It's gone so quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, we have come to the end of another video. If you've liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what you think, whether it should be months or a year.
And also let me know what you guys want to hear from me as well. I don't want to kind of just feed you what I think you should be fed, but if there's something specific that you want me to talk about, or if
you want to see my beautiful face again.
Yeah, but thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.